Hi, this is Chris Smith, Shamblesguru, as known on the interweb in North Thailand. And this is going to be another in the series where I've been looking over the past few months at different learning platforms. And virtual worlds are one of those learning platforms, and Second Life is obviously one that I'm very involved with. And let's have a look and see what goes on. Where are we here? Look at all these tabs I've got open. Thank goodness it's Google Chrome, which can manage multiple tags really easily. So the conference I'm going to look at, or we're going to look at in the next few minutes, is called VWBPE, Virtual Worlds Best Practices in Education. You can see the date up here, March the 17th and 19th, 2011, and their fourth one. And this is taking place mainly in Second Life, 3D virtual world owned by Linden Labs in San Francisco, I believe their head office is. And I have to say, I'm in awe. I'm blown away by the build that they've made to host this particular conference, and the amount of work that's gone into it, and the number of presentations, almost end-to-end presentations for 3 days. It doesn't matter which time zone you're in. So let's have a look at some of the information that may help you in the future. This is their website, VWBPE.org, and I suspect it'll be here for many years, so you could come and have a look. Down the side here it gives you some idea, on the left hand side it gives you some idea of the range of activities that are going on. Not only are there presentations, but there are also there's a teen fair for youngsters. I think it's 13 to 15. I'm not completely sure about that, but I think that's what it is. And World of Warcraft sessions. There are a number of field trips, and there's a machinima contest as well, which is what I'm making here, but I won't be adding it to it. And the theme for the build is a steampunk theme. If you're not sure what steampunk is, have a look look it up. Let's see what happens if we click on here. A complete listing of what's going on is here. Let me enlarge that slightly. Here we go. And I'm not going to go through these in detail. I will pick up on a couple of points. One is, you see here there's a Portuguese track. What is interesting, because of time zones, there seems to be at a certain time when Portugal's awake, and there obviously is a large virtual world Second Life contingent in Portugal. They have their own Portuguese theme. If you were learning the Portuguese language, this would actually be an amazingly brilliant opportunity. I'm not going to go through each of these, the master schedule and so on, social events, social networking, World of Warcraft in the classroom. Gaming is flavour of the month, flavour of the year I'd say actually. Using gaming in teaching and learning. Back to the main website, this would go here, and I think the thing to do is to come and have a look. Conference etiquette, and all the different locations. And I'll show you the locations in a second. It's multiple islands that have been set up and built specifically for this event. And I love this, that people with hearing disabilities, voice is being used in most of the conference, online conference. But of course, if you're having problems with voice, technically as well as with your own physical hearing, you have a disability. So how is that dealt with? Are people going to transcribe in real time? So let's have a look what else I've got here before we go in world. Here is a master schedule. Now the reason I brought this master schedule up is because of this bit here which says live. One thing they're doing is in the organisers of the Virtual Worlds Best Practice in Education is they're using Street TV, which is think of it as a cable company, but they're videoing the proceedings or the talks that are in Second Life, and so you could view them in a browser. And I haven't checked, but I'm pretty certain that with most of the things that they record, they actually archive those recordings online. I'm curious. Let's just have a look. Street TV. Let's see what we get here. So they've got a list of the live presentations that they're doing, and I suspect that Oh, they're actually using Livestream, but Treat TV will also does recording as well. Let's see what's going to happen here.
Nice people.
Ah, here it comes.
But in the beginning, it was for me. It was like a role play grid. The welcome looked like very grungy and normally not my style. But then we had long talks, and they wanted to expand the world, to bring other people in business.
Let me just stop
fashion,
that.
Everything.
So there are some of the events that, even though they're in Second Life, they're being recorded by Treat TV, and the advantage of that, of course, is we can all go back there and look at the archives later. I suspect if you went to VWBPE.treat.tv, you'd be able to find those. I notice if I go back, and you can pick up these URLs in the top left-hand corner, there's some other ones. In fact, I don't know what MBC is. Let's just have a look at that. Looks like the same, doesn't it? You may have to come and experiment yourself here. So it's Friday and Saturday. The timing usually is Second Life time, which is the same as California time. Before we go in world, let me just see what else I've got up here. Twitter, of course. VWBPE have a Twitter account, and you can follow what's going on here. And you can see they're using a hashtag there. I've noticed that the hashtag is sometimes VWBPE11. And if you want to aggregate the Twitter stream of people using that hashtag, and if you've heard me on this before, so apologies for the nagging, but use a Twitter client that will actually aggregate hashtags. And my favorite is tweetchat.com. You put in the hashtag in here, VWBPE11. I've chosen the 11 one here. I know people are using both in many of them, and you'll see here the stream will be live. And if you don't know where to go at these conferences, this is a brilliant way of finding your way through the mire and seeing where people would go. You see people are actually commenting on different events, and here's they're telling you where the sessions are. So that's, for me, that's it's a lifesaver, Twitter, when I'm finding my way around online virtual events, whether it's a webinar or a virtual world. So let's have a look, and let's go over to Second Life. So here's my Second Life client, which I've downloaded. My username down here, Shamblesguru. My password is, no, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to go to log in and go to where my last location was. And it's got a snapshot here of the last location. Now, they've built this. I shall talk while we're logging in. I might pause it if it takes too long. But they've built it with a steampunk theme. Steampunk is sort of Victorian, when the age of the steam engine came in. And I said at the beginning, I'm in awe with the design and what's being built here. The builders, the designers, it's unbelievable. I'm really blown away with this. So we've logged in. I haven't paused it, so this is in real time. And earlier today I was actually in this location. That's why you can see the still image in front of us here now. Now don't let me down. Here we go. Now I've come in without checking, and I suspect there may be nobody here. It's very dark. Let me go up here, and there's my avatar just appeared. Let me go up here and switch the sun on. I'm using Second Life Viewer 2, and it looks like, which is really sad, it looks like there's nothing on here at the moment. Let me fly. Let me have a look around. Oh, what a shame. I was here before, early this morning, and there must have been 60 or 70 avatars here. I'm stuck behind something. What am I stuck in here? Here we go. Look at it. They've built this. It's not like your regular type of. Oh, there's somebody over there. Look, it's not your regular type of conference room. There was a there was a person stood in this sort of area here. Let me see if I can move this a little bit here and move these controls. These are my camera controls. Let me move up a bit, get a slightly better view. There is somebody over here. But there was a sort of a controller here who's control of the whole event. There actually were some chairs out here where the speakers were sitting, and all around it's cavernous. It's the back cave. You can see there were people standing on all these podiums that are around this sort of. It's volcanic, isn't it? This is a I am slow. It looks like a volcanic sort of. What do you call them? I forgot what you call them. The gap at the top of a volcano. You've got all these seats out here as well. So there were avatars all sat around there. But there's not just one set of seats. If I move myself around here, there was another set over here. Somebody sitting in the seat there, maybe waiting for the next session. North America will be asleep now. It's 2 o'clock in the morning in the States, and many of the audience will be North American. There are other venues. This is just the main meeting presentation area. There are other ones, and there may be people there. And we'll see that in a second. This is a load of seats here. There's another avatar stood there waiting for something. And there's a load of seats here. Let me just bring up the map, the world map. World map. There we go. And this will give you some idea of the extent of what people have built. It's just it blows my mind. Each of these little dots. This is a world map of where we are. This is the sim. This one we're in at the moment, and this is me. This little dot here, and these little dots around are other avatars. But it doesn't look like there's any big meetings on at the moment. And this morning, there were dozens in here listening to a presentation. I'm really sad that I can't show you that now. But you can see there's more than one island, and they call them VWBPE, North and South, and 1 and 2, and there are different things going on. And in fact, down this area here, this one here is, I think this one here is where I have an exhibition. International Schools Island has an exhibition. Maybe I'll point out that in fact, I did just say, look at this sim. In fact, there's 4 sims here. You might just be able to see the line there. There's one there and another one here. There's 4 sims, and you can only have up to a maximum of 100 avatars on one sim in Second Life. In fact, let's say 100, and more realistically, it's 60. So if you want to get 200 people together, the way to do it is you put 4 sims together like this, and you can see the meeting area is here. So you can have, in this quadrant, you could have up to 60, up to 100, but up to 60. 100, it makes the whole thing slow down a bit. You suffer from lag. And here you could have 60, here you can have... So it's one way of being able to bring more people together than it is on one particular sim. So we've got 4 here, we've got 4 up there, we've got 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. I have a feeling this also is temporary. This has been built and put together purely for this conference, which really does just blow my mind what they've done. So if you ever have a chance, visit this. It's the conference is not about. Let me close that. Where have I gone? Where's my avatar gone? Oh, here I am. I'm still flying. Let me fly out. Can I get out? I never get to get my pilot's license. I'll go up a bit as well. Here we go. And go out. You can see what the sims are like that we were just looking at. We were just looking at those sims. If I just sort of scroll around a bit, you can see some of the builders around here. It's because of my graphics card and my settings, I don't see all the way to the horizon. But look at this, what they built over this volcano. This is actually I'd love to interview the people that did this, designed it and built it. It's really imagine having a real life conference in somewhere like this. Absolutely brilliant, and with a global audience. With a global audience, that would be amazing. And I do have an extra helicopter there. All sorts of weird things going on around here. I'm not going to try and find the exhibition I put out. Maybe at a later one. So the discussions here are not about virtual worlds and Second Life. They're about, some of them are, but they're about all aspects of education. And let me just turn around here, and so you can see me in more details here. So it's not just about virtual worlds and Second Life. It's about all elements of education. So I hope you've enjoyed this little tour. It's a bit long, but I think it's really of interest. If you've missed this one, put it in your diary for next year. I'm sure they'll be doing it again next year, and goodness knows what it's going to look like next year. Let me just go back to my browser tab. Here we go. There's tweet tab. I will actually this will go onto YouTube, but also I will embed it in this area here. This is a Posterous blog using virtual online platforms, and on here I do have a lot of case studies of different types of online events, or where they're blended events which have an online element to them. And I think that's it. I hope you found that of interest. I'm just blown away with the whole thing. Have fun. Take care.